Hey guys, it's me. It's RDV. I'm back here with Eric Breen. Our special guest is Professor Pixel. Yes, I know you're all expecting maybe get Frugal, maybe Wes, or maybe even Perch, but we don't have that star power here. We don't have that. We have Pixel.
Well,
I mean, who else could we replace Zach with? But someone equally as lovable as he is.
lovable. Okay. I was waiting. Love. No, hello. I know I don't appear on this channel often, but I think that's because of your cloth fellows. How do you even arrange this deal, Bankman?
They don't know.
Is this where you stay in character of pretending to be two different entities?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I just want to say,
You fought against a weirdo.
He's on medication, so please do not agitate him by talking about it.
What's his finger gonna get longer?
I mean, we know where he works.
I've seen the videos. I know what you're talking about. I don't know why people are talking about my fingers so much.
Eddie Murphy in 48 hours. Bullshit. You took a stupid job.
He's more like Eddie Marty. I like the party.
We're here to talk about comics, aren't we?
We're talking about somebody who actually was thought to be dead and is now alive.
The hell do I know?
Elvis Presley?
No, we're talking about Mr. Steve Rogers, Mr. Captain America, the only Captain America. Yes, in Avengers #4. Yes, and
I think I might have mentioned something to you, Venkman, but Jerry, who you've met a time or two, that films my videos, blah blah blah, took one home Wednesday evening.
He got hit, or he got a comic book.
He bought Avengers 4 Wednesday night.
Wow.
I
don't even want to ask how much you paid for it.
It was just south of 200
or K.
That would be a K. But it was a 3.0. It was graded. It looked really good. I mean, a 3.0 doesn't seem like it'd be very good, but I mean, when you're talking something like this,
he got slabbed.
Well, it was slabbed already.
Oh yeah, okay.
He bought it that way, but that was it was cool. Just seeing one again.
I mean, that is cool to see it in person. It's to actually see some of his books. I've only ever seen him pictures or people have videos. I've never seen them. Everything you have in your storage, you could just start showing me. I would start crying if you showed to me those in person.
If I still had my collection, because the Avengers 4 that Jerry just bought, wasn't anywhere near as good a condition as the one I had.
Yes.
And I said, because I had complete sets of all Avengers, Fantastic Four, Amazing Spider-Man, everything. If I hadn't had to sell, I'd be making those kind of videos every freaking day.
I know, but I mean, even then, you still have some books that I think are kind of cool. They may not be worth a lot, but still, to me, they're like.
I'm very happy with what I have gotten back, but I mean, what I had was just ridiculous.
I mean, we should be jealous of anybody, jealous of some of those people on the fossils, man.
They're me who didn't have to sell.
I know.
Well,
I mean, you're the oldest. Shouldn't they give you some of their stuff?
Strangelife's 10 years older than me.
I know,
and he's got a ton of Golden Age, just awesome stuff.
That's cool. I mean, when you get Golden Age, whether it's Flash Comics or Green Lantern. Or even just stuff that's not superhero related. Golden Age.
His cool. Golden Age mostly horror, stuff like science fiction, things like that. But I don't know if he's got much in the superhero vein. But I said that's what makes that show so much fun to watch. Is you never know what these guys are going to pull out. Oh, knock it off, child!
It's like having Zach here.
You here to hang out with the grown-ups, and this is how you're gonna act.
Can we just change his name to Zach? We're the same response, aren't we? The same laughter.
Zach is a pro's pro.
Yes,
and you even have pro in your name.
No, it's prof.
Pro F and Pixel. So
Let's come to
this book has a little floating heads, all except for I guess you'd say for I guess 3 of the Avengers at the time was Captain America, Janet. I'm confused
What
calling
do
the
you mean?
Wasp.
She's
I just
right
call her
there.
Janet because she's annoying. She's not a superhero.
caption box. Floating heads in the caption box does not count as floating heads.
I don't care, but it's still kind of cool to see because you don't see that today.
The caption boxes are awesome.
Yeah.
But I just want to point out. Hello there, dear. It's just silly to me.
Yes, he caught her trying to escape and flirt with Tony. Yeah. Ooh, that Hulk is that's a Kirby Hulk, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Everything on here is Kirby.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Well, you're not going to have to worry about the Hulk this issue.
So this now going back to this, this comic book. This comic book is I always forget how long these books are. They or at least they seem longer than most of them. I think this is a normal size issue. I don't think it was oversized.
No, it's normal. 23
But-
pages.
But the dialogue, just everything jam packed in these pages, the little scenes, panels, is just great. Seeing Kirby drawing the Avengers, that's cool. I mean, when I hear the Kirby, it's either like his universe, New God universe. He did a DC comic books. I hear about that, or I hear about Fantastic Four. Avengers, I don't really hear people saying Kirby Avengers.
Well, it's because he wasn't on there very long. Because he Stan and Jack did Fantastic Four for over 100 issues. They did close to that on Thor and Captain America. Those were their 3 main collaborations. Kirby was gone. I want to say, God, I don't know if he lasted 10 issues on the Avengers because Don Heck took over and drew them forever.
Yeah, so this is the note. The no people for people who don't know this or knew this. This is Steve Rogers' first appearance in Silver Age, where he started off in Golden Age. So what? It's been 15 years. You think maybe?
What had happened was they brought Captain America back. I want to say in the late 40s and then again in the 50s, but it wasn't Steve Rogers.
It was someone else.
I don't think they ever said who it was. And then down the road, when they were cleaning up, what they were doing here, they did a story in Captain America in the 150s where they introduced who that guy was and what his story was and why he was there and not Steve Rogers.
Because the Invaders is before it, or is it right around this time that this comic was being made?
No, the Invaders started in 1975. So
okay.
You'll notice Cap is having trouble remembering who Submariner was. Obviously, they didn't have any idea they were going to do a book called The Invaders, in 1964. So
yeah, because Cap remembering who he is, and then the other thing was Fantastic Four is before this, right?
Yes.
Because we were reading before how Subnamer, came out of the thing where Johnny found him, and he had thoughts about being with Cap.
Yeah. Fantastic Four had been out for over 2 years, or a little under 2 years when the Avengers started. Yep. The Avengers started in late 63. Well, actually mid 63, but the cover date was, I think, September. So this would have been, I don't think they were monthly yet. So this was early 64, but it might have been published in late 63.
Oh,
this is where Apollo would come in handy.
We also get a Zag reference here, Cake of Ice. Cake. This is my 3rd or 4th time reading this actually. I always forget what issue it is because to me I don't read a lot of Avengers stuff. So I've read this story for Captain America, and then I read the actual Captain America's. I think it's actually recapped in the Captain America 100 issue 100.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, issue 100.
Yeah. So this is all familiar. I've read this part before, so it's kind of cool to see the original before Captain America 100, which I believe is afterwards, right after this.
No, but there's about 5 years difference.
So 5 years after or 5 years before?
No, after. No, this was his first Silver Age appearance. He was in the Avengers, and then he got a series, half of Tales of Suspense, where he and Iron Man crossed over in issue 59, and then his own series started in issue 60. But the reason why Thor, Iron Man, and the Pyms left the book was Stan did not want continuity glitches, so he didn't want to have anybody that had their own titles in the Avengers in case it wouldn't fit. Of course, not long after that, the Giant Man series in Tales to Astonish was canceled, which is why the Pyms were the first ones to come back about a year after they left. But Captain America, so he could remain, his adventures were set in World War II when the Tales of Suspense series began.
All right.
They ended up relaxing that to allow the Avengers, Iron Man and Thor to pop up occasionally, but Captain America's stories eventually were set in the present.
So I got a question. Everybody's going crazy over those Star Wars, Han Solo, and Frozen and Carbonite, like ice cube makers. Where's my Captain America ice cube?
I bet there are a few.
Like a little cup, and he has it on the side. You see him, a little thing floating around.
I mean, it's just kind of funny to think about how pivotal Namor's appearance was to the reappearance of Captain America. Because otherwise, you just would have been worshipped for another,
So
some odd years.
Yeah, the issue 4 begins with a recap of the battle issue in number 3, where the Submariner and the Hulk team up to fight the Avengers, which was also the subject of What If number 3, which, if you ever get a chance to read that, it's one of the best What If issues of all time. But they're going back to wherever it is they were going in their submarine when. I'm getting ahead of myself. Namor comes upon some Eskimos worshiping an ice god, and he's still pissing and moaning about not being able to find his people. So he has a temper tantrum and throws the block of ice with the man in it into the ocean. Yeah, and then he leaves and gets all woe is me. So the Avengers happen to be passing by in their submarine and see the body floating. And fortunately, they must have great, I don't know what the nautical term is, but you can open the sub, pull them in.
No water coming in?
Yeah, without water, just flooding them all out.
Usually you have the water underneath, like the pool fills up on the bottom of the sub, but on the top part, though, yeah, they're all dead.
But so they realize that it appears to be Captain America from another age.
I love Tony's eyes in this. He just look like he's crazy and just shocked, Like the Wasp is right. Holy crap, she's right.
Now, here's the first one. They don't explain it, but we're gonna apply a little comic book logic.
Yeah.
How he comes to and survived. We're just gonna say, for the sake of the story, that something in the super soldier serum allowed him to go into suspended animation instead of dying.
I mean, it must be better than what they use over at Vought American on The Boys, because the V compound V actually keeps you alive, reanimates you, but you're basically a zombie. So he got the better kind.
So he comes to, he thinks he's in the waning days of World War II.
Yep.
In the event that killed Bucky.
Bucky!
So they calm him down. Then they wonder if he's not an imposter. So, of course, what else would you do when you're on a sub? Hey, you test him. And
I know, poor guy. He's been asleep for how long? He wakes up and he's like, "I am Captain America."
Okay. Second thing where we're going to give him the benefit of the doubt using comic book logic, that even though he's been stiff as a board for 20 years, We're going to say the super soldier serum allowed him to just get those juices flowing immediately.
I think it was the warmer water. That's what it was. Yeah, the warmer water just kind of loosened
The
up.
hard water?
It's like putting.
No, but
It's
I mean,
like putting a turkey, in the refrigerator. After a while, it warms up.
Have you ever been bedridden for a couple days? First time you get out, I mean, I said 20 years. We're going to say it's a super soldier serum because he's at peak fighting strength instantly.
I mean,
to be fair, he didn't like degrade. Yes, he's been resting, but everything about him has been in suspended animation. So if you're going with that logic, then yeah, it makes sense that once he wakes up,
still going to be a little stiff for a few minutes. I'm just saying.
No, my question is, he's like, the way they did the MCU is like it seemed much more like drastic. Where in this, it's like, oh wait, everything still seems the same.
and Dave is applying real world logic to this.
He didn't even have to pee. Actually, he did. He's going right now.
I mean, where's the warm liquid goose phase? I mean, we're doing awesome powers. He's got to pee for like about a couple minutes. It's frozen a block of ice.
And Ash says, the guy I would give both my kidneys to needs to redo this origin to make Captain America great again.
He does not need to ever. No. Listen, let him have his Sin City world. That's
the only thing I can think of is that he didn't drink your water, or he went pee. He emptied his system out for 2 hours before he went in the block of ice. So he doesn't need to drink anything. He might be dehydrated, so maybe he has to drink something.
Well, this is the same. We're just pretending like this is the same universe where the Brady children don't even have a toilet in their bathroom.
Oof.
Maybe they didn't. They probably didn't have a bathroom or a shower.
No, they did, but it didn't have a toilet in it.
What do you mean? You just pee in the shower?
I mean, they got Alice to clean up everything. They're good.
There you go.
No wonder
I would not want to be anywhere near those pipes.
All right, so they have the little thing here, and does Giant Man have to stay in giant form the whole entire time he's in the ship? Seriously, unstable pin particles.
He's got to show off.
We want to say he's not Ant-Man, he's Giant Man. Okay.
That's right, I'm a big boy.
Well, look how puny Thor looks compared to him. Thor's just like, all right. Now, this is cool. I love the Kirby art as far as the planes and the motorcycles, the detail he puts into it. The wood being busted up as he's going off the pier. It looks like that.
I forgot Bucky was blonde.
European Theater of Operations, if you didn't know what EDO is.
Thank you.
Yes. I love the clarification who is talking, because you see like the yellow and then the lettering. So it's pretty good. Somebody. It's not me. It must be a brain.
Sounds like Brain is getting arrested.
No, it's probably the mouse.
Nah, that was a siren going down the street.
The mouse has got a new fire truck he drives around. It's like
right, Cap. I see the fuse. It's gonna blow.
Bucky exploded.
Bucky died. He never reappeared, and he's just gone.
I mean, those were the last words that brave, wonderful lad ever uttered.
I would say just get rid of the hit there and say Bucky exploded. Bucky's gone. Literally, Bucky exploded. Bucky's gone. That's all you need. Get rid of the hit.
Ash
on comics.
Well, he didn't say my full name.
Oh. We never really. I don't think I've ever said your full name, really.
It's right here.
Yeah. I mean, I just call you the Pixelator.
Don't call me that, please. But now that he has explained his story, as it were, he just pretty much says, okay.
It really is him. He's got the shield and everything, and we'll just those little tests. All right.
And then they arrive back home, and
Giant Man just blocking it. I'm just so glad they upgraded Tony's armor because that armor from Ditko's
It's
armor
horrible.
is
It's
just
horrible.
It was 1964.
Okay.
so. This means it was horrible back then.
Look what the robots looked like back then.
Better.
No, not really.
Who needs the V part though? That's just weird. It's like I guess. I mean, imagine if he kept that faceplate armor. Someone gets impaled by one of those corners.
Listen, when we look at because we've done a reading of the first issue of Iron Man, and we've seen his previous set of armor. That just has an aesthetic to it that's far better than I got points. Look at me. Pixel Alonso. That's right. That's right.
We
So
call him Pixie for short. Mr. Pixie.
Don't call me that. They're all stone. I find it funny. A man gets freed and then they're all trapped.
Nice.
And the only reason that Cap isn't frozen is because he took too dang long to get out of the submarine.
Well, he was probably doing what Dave was wondering why he hadn't done when he first.
He's probably had to use the men's room.
Yeah.
That's right. You go ahead. I have to take a shit.
But it'll be a patriotic one.
There's nothing more American.
Oh, yes.
And
But yeah. Everyone's frozen, but the girls are still as lovely as ever.
Even the ones look like they have a dead pig draped over their skull. I don't know what's going on with the one next to her.
Now the thing is, we can tell right here if they ever decide to make Captain America gay. This proves right here. The first thing you notice is the women.
She's a beautiful woman.
He was thinking of his mother.
Oh no.
Yep.
And there he is, walking up to the UN. And just like Alfred Hitchcock, he was turned away at the gate.
And he's stealing a car. Oh.
Making a cop cry.
He's just stealing some hubcaps. Because he's also a hubcap stealing.
Bona fide American.
There you go.
Well, he is from Brooklyn. I mean, you gotta steal stuff to scrap it to make money.
So then Captain America turns on the television.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
And says, I hope these kids realize how wonderful this invention television is. I hope you kids appreciate it, Pixie.
My future self is doing this to me. You see the irony there?
When does simply not walk into the UN?
That's true. He didn't walk into the UN. He just noticed it before he was pointed to a hotel. And then here comes random Rick Jones. I don't care for
or as you said, Marvel's snapper car.
Yeah, that's what he feels like.
Rick Jones was far more important to Marvel than Snapper was to DC, though.
I guess.
No, there's no guessing.
I don't care
the
for
universe.
Okay.
I don't care that you don't care that you care that you don't care that he don't.
But Snapper was brought back in the Justice League of America cartoon as a reporter.
It all comes back to cartoons with you, doesn't it?
It does because they're more entertaining. So what's up today?
I wish I were watching a cartoon right now.
You are.
I'm in one.
Well, you're usually in a puppet show, so is this any better?
I mean, can we just screen cap that face of Captain America right there and just use that as your icon?
That's quite a face. But I do love that he says, "Oh, it's unbelievable. You're like his twin brother," and his hair it's dark.
Well, Bucky's hair was dark. They just miscolored it.
What they actually
did it wrong.
I'm just saying that Bucky, Rick Jones, Peter Parker, anybody drawn by Kirby looks alike. You notice that? Romita did it too. You know, difference between Harry and Peter is that Harry had
not like
cornrow.
not like John Byrne.
Yeah. Wow. That's because that's what John Byrne does. But oh well. But no.
Hello, young boy.
Get your hands off me, you old man. Look at that face. Like, hey. Kirby's art here and there. I mean, more action sequence. I think were better. I'm not trying to diss the king, but I mean, this doesn't fit the expression.
It looks like he's getting ready to go. Hey.
I mean, this is Superman. Like, hey kid,
Hello,
taking off
there,
his shirt. It's like
you look just like Bucky. It's amazing.
Now, if this was the boys, it'd be a wholly different situation between Bucky and Cap.
I don't want to diss the king. Obviously he's the king for a reason. Faces are not the reason.
No.
All right.
No, his faces are atrocious.
I'm not going to say they're atrocious, but they're not.
Rick Jones was important to Marvel Comics because he was linked to Marvel with the Negabands. He also created the Hulk by wandering onto the base with the nuclear tests. So basically, Bruce was an idiot. All right. Did Bruce save somebody, or did he just randomly walk onto the field?
So Rick Jones is basically, I have to move a plot along. They can throw him into anything. That's what they're on?
Rick Jones was on the Gamma base in his Jeep, trying to win a bet. Because he snuck onto the Gamma base right before they were going to do the test. And Bruce tried to save him, and he got Rick over the wall in time, but he took the brunt of the Gamma.
That's what I thought. Rick
is
Rick just knows everybody. He's like frugal. Everybody loves him.
And if you go read that first issue, just the looks on the faces of those characters are just perfect.
Yeah.
Delineated by the king.
Now, I'll just say this.
Take that, Pixie.
Frank Cho, no one's looking at the face of the women.
Yeah. I mean, if the panel had a little more to distract here, we wouldn't really be talking about faces all that much.
Where can I get green pants like him, though? That's what I don't know.
So, just like that, Cap turns on a dime and says, there are pictures taken at the event. Get them, boy.
I want to see who turned my friends or people into statues.
And I like where Rick says, wow, all of a sudden he sounds like a man that's used to being obeyed and fast.
Yeah, he said that.
So he snaps back into Captain America, basically.
He's basically diligent, Yeah, he is serious. He has
Cap is Cap.
Yeah. Yep. There's the guy with the gun.
There's always a guy with a gun.
It's Pixel. Look at that. Uncanny. He's even got the hat in the background. He's got the white hat. You can see it behind his shoulder. All right. I'm not kidding. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that hat there in the background hanging up.
I did not come here to be insulted and
I'm just saying. It just looks that way. So now we know Pixel is a time traveler. No wonder he talks about Doctor Who.
That's right. On Mad Men with a Box, you can find me.
No one cares about that show.
Oh, I got to shield a little bit. I'm never on here.
That's not a very nice thing to say.
I know, but I said it anyway.
No matter how true it is, that's not nice.
I'm not at liberty to say nice things. I'm not being paid.
Neither am I.
True. So why would you expect good things?
Oh.
All right. That's not him. The hair is not black enough, and the fingers aren't long enough.
They're profiling.
I thought I had him, but he's much too old. That's not Eric Breen. Let's see here. That's the guy. Another false alarm.
Hey, Pixel, can I borrow your middle finger for a minute?
It's right here. Here you go.
Thank you. Take that, Beckman. I'm
now
importing my birds.
There he is.
As long as they don't start chirping, we're fine. Okay.
I love that he says it's just like old times again, being in this costume. And yes, of course, he's actively doing something, but he was just in his costume like 10 minutes ago.
I mean, running around doing heroic thing in the car. So before he was just doing kind of like civilian things. I don't think he's even taken a shower yet, has he?
We just saw him in the bed. Has got to
be rank.
Yeah.
Okay, now I know we haven't met who he really is yet, but you look at him and
it's Wonder Man.
You can definitely picture him talking like this.
I mean, either
look
it's
at that smoking jacket.
Either that is Wonder Man, or that is their crappy imitation of a better Plastic Man. Either way, he's better than Wonder Man.
And then to just cut him down.
Although that would make Wonder Man became a criminal because his movies bombed. Wow.
No, he became a criminal because he couldn't compete with Tony Stark in business.
Well, he has better armor then.
Wow. So the other thing is this shield. We know it's it's the hardest something known to man. Vibranium. Yet it doesn't slice through anybody.
I mean, yeah, no.
It's all in the wrist.
That's right. You gotta.
Wow.
I think it was Amazing Adventures #8, where Cap and a couple other Avengers fly out to San Francisco to check out what's going on with Black Bolt.
Yeah. And
this guy has this kid held hostage, and he tells Captain America to get rid of the shield. So he flings it, and it goes around like a building and comes back and hits the guy in the back of the neck. I'm sorry, that guy's dead.
I know the head's just falling off.
His head's rolling down.
Yes.
There's no stopping him. He's like a whirlwind. He's nuts. And he's got scales, and your hand stinks. Oh my god. Seaweed. So they overuse the colors. We got the background, the yellow background, which adds to the. I think the blank background adds to the dynamic of actually what's being thrown here. That shown the fight. Limited amount of colors, but I mean, Cap is just crazy. He's just doing like Cap Fu. You know,
he's doing work.
And then Wonder Man says, "No, you can't have a movie before me." No.
I think he looks more like a guy looking for next month's centerfold.
I'm just wondering, did he? I was gonna say it looks more like Osborn's his robe.
As Kato said, I do love Jack Kirby's art. It was when I was reading through his Eternals that I went ahead and I realized just how fantastic he truly was. But then the faces kept coming up to distract me. But everything between that.
So he says this gun he used came from someplace other than the Earth. He's been in the ice for like 20 years. How does he know it came from other places on Earth? He doesn't know what the technology is. He saw the cars. This guy could have then made it in his lab or in his garage. You know, this is science fiction here. You know, but then again, we'll find out as we keep going here. But oh my gosh,
did you forget?
I want to add to this and put Pixel's face being held in his hand and having a Palpatine under there.
Where's Gratu when you need him? Not Gratu. Sorry, Graphic Man. Jeez, Graphic. I'm sorry.
You know, that guy looks an awful lot like that planet that Jean Grey consumed in the Dark Phoenix saga.
Yeah. He also looks like Celery from the Fish Tales. It's like Groot's cousin.
I am Reed.
I am Broccoli. Asparagus, yes. With Asperger's disease, and he just starts, saying words.
And Cap is just like, this is totally normal.
I mean, I would just be like, first of all, awesome work on the mask. That's a cool looking mask. How you did that? I want to know. And then you see that guy said, yeah, as you point out, Cap's like, I was right. You're not hearing. And that guy's like, holy shit.
Oh my gosh, we've been working.
One guy's already out the room. Straight now from now on, the one guy's just. I love that humor. So continue with this.
Yeah, and he basically confronts him about, all my new friends that I met an hour ago now. They are statues because of you. And now we get a second monologue.
Yes.
He is ready to monologue.
Yes, but we don't read through that. We're not reading here. I mean, we've already read, but
I mean, it is a cool design for the gun. He turns people to stone. You see Mirror Master use a similar kind of gun. We've also seen the Captain Cold use the same gun like that. In Mr. Freeze. I mean, the design for that gun is like been used a lot. I don't know if they got it from this or from other books, but like, it is kind of cool to see it in this.
Now, one of the things that Marvel did a lot of in the early days was, since they were just kind of new and finding their footing, they would attach a lot of things to legends and a historical. Like they do an issue where we found the Cyclops, or they go back and meet Cleopatra. But like this one, they said, you notice that they said because of the way his hair looked from behind, people thought he was a woman using that gun. So that's where the legend of Medusa started.
Ah.
Yep.
Which a lot, obviously all that stuff was discarded later, but
where's the snake?
Wow. You see what your boy's here saying?
Well, that's what are you going to do?
I just don't understand this guy. It's just
the brain was too stunned to speak.
I don't know.
But
no,
yeah,
that's an odd way of saying, am I the only person here who has four senses? No taste.
I borrowed one of his senses. That's what he has four now. Am I the only one balls to admit it? Wait, well, are you saying that? I don't know. I'm gonna leave that joke. But Mysterio PS Theater, Trusty, magnifique. Yeah. So Namor he has a little belt buckle on here too. Notice that. But you said later on when they do later on with Captain America stuff, he doesn't remember meeting Namor in the Invaders.
Yep.
Before, or is Invaders supposed to take place before this?
No, the Invaders takes place before this, but it hadn't been created yet, so there'll be no references to it.
Okay. Still the most powerful mutant. Hey, even says Fickle in here. Wow. It's the first time I've seen that in a comic book. Fickle.
His face down in the water.
Whose face?
Look right there. I found it. It looks like a freaking bug.
Why is his antenna going through his mask? That's what I want to know. Or is it supposed to like calling wrong? Was Vince Coletta calling this?
No.
And there's a submarine over there with the hatch open. Why is he diving?
Look at the eyes.
I don't know. I mean, all right.
But no, they're going ahead, going down there.
You got a little buoy, little buoy in the flotation. Yeah. Wow. Thor can read technology like this.
Yeah, he's using the hammer.
Darn thing doesn't work. Like you'd think you'd have the guy who does the gizmos would be like Tony Stark operating this stuff, or even Hank Pym at this. They're the scientists. They're the guys who understand the technology. But apparently, you're like Thor. Just push that button. That's all you gotta do, big guy. Just push the button. I know how it works.
Thor, make your hammer a magnet.
He says it worked. You free the ship. He's like, you sound surprised. I mean, wouldn't you? It's a guy who throws a hammer out and says, "Nay, more mead." Now, did they retcon at this point that that Thor was still Donald Blake with this in the Thor form, or is this like the separate beings now in Avengers?
No, that was something they again when they first started the series, they didn't know how long it was going to last. They didn't know where it was going to go. Once they started delving into Asgardian lore, they kind of set it up to where they were two separate people. And then that's when they found out that eventually that the Donald Blake persona was a punishment handed down from Odin to teach him humility. So technically, Don Blake never existed.
Yeah.
He was a lie.
Because I remember the Straczynski's run, they revealed that, he was this, So they did that in Walt Simonson?
Well, that had been done long before that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Like I said, I'm 37, but I started reading comics regularly until like 2006. And that's when I first got into stuff. There's a lot of stuff I'm going through back in this. I do like the other parts of the suit other than Fireman's mask, but I do like the style of the suit still.
He was literally a tin can when they started.
Yes.
He could barely move, and he had to plug into things just to get electricity.
I understand that, but that mask is...
I mean, that pose.
Pixel, you're young, so maybe you haven't, but if you've been around long enough, everybody's made questionable fashion choices. This just happens to be Iron Man's.
And Pixel's time right now.
Sadly, most of the questionable Spider-Man fashion choices come now.
Yeah, to be fair, though, Ash, though the art is a little weird because I'm not used to it. I've only seen the old, I don't want to say older, but newer, I guess, Kirby art in the Fantastic Four. This is earlier on him drawing Iron Man.
No, the Fantastic Four Kirby you've seen is older than this.
Well, yeah, I'm saying this came after the Fantastic Four, right?
Yeah, but
that's what I'm saying. I've seen the Fantastic Four, the later issues, though. I'm saying, like we were reading,
It looks like he has a big yellow ear. His mask.
Actually, you're right. It does on the back of the head.
Oh.
But also the other thing, these comic books were not. These panels weren't blown up. Right? These are just sections of the actual page blown up, right? So you never would really notice this. That's the other thing too. It really doesn't help. But it's still an entertaining story. I love the fact that the emotion lines in the comic books. The flight, you see the punch, you see the lines going through, so the movement. I think it adds more to the making it seem more realistic to me as far as the fighting.
I'm glad Wasp isn't taking a Sue side to this. Oh, he's just misunderstood.
Oh yeah, man! If she pulled the whole Sue thing, oh my gosh, I'd question who's.
That's what you and your puppet should read later, Breen. Fantastic Four.
Yeah. I mean, she could literally fly into his ear.
Well, she doesn't want to fly in his ear.
I'm just saying.
I mean, if we want to talk about it, she could fly up anywhere, expand, and they're all dealt with.
That's the boys.
It could be here too.
So this is cool to point out too. I'm used to seeing Namor just being the last of his kind, apparently. At least for most of the times, newer comic books, they don't mention his race of people and stuff.
Sure, they do.
Not all of them. Whenever I see some of the I'd say not today, But I mean, like in the mid 2000s, when I was reading with
They're just
Namor,
not doing anything with him.
yeah,
When they first brought him back, his people were gone, and then he found him. Like I said, this was the first time he found him. Yeah, well, I guess second time because I think his. No, I don't think he found any of them in the Fantastic Four annual #1, but eventually he found his people.
because you had Namor read on like in the 80s and stuff like that, and some of the stuff in the early 90s. But like when I started reading in the 2000s, it was just kind of him by himself, and then they were kind of rebooting him, I guess.
Well, like I said, they weren't doing anything with the, the Warlord Krangs, the, Tyrak the Terrible,
or Attila or whatever it is, or
Attila,
Attila.
Atuma. Yeah, so they're, but those were fleshed out as Namor became more popular, and he ended up getting that's who replaced. In Tales to Astonish, his series started with issue 70. I believe that's who took over for Giant Man. Because
Pixelback.
Yes. Notice how the thought bubbles and even the speech bubbles are all different colors. I wish Marvel would still do this, because like at least can tell who's talking. Because a lot of times you don't know where the speech bubble is starting, because it's sometimes it's pointed to the wrong person, or it's just pointed between people.
I mean, they do that to add like a flair sometimes, but they don't use it in a practical sense.
I mean, they should. I mean, well, actually, now that I think about it, probably wouldn't use pink for Thor.
Why not?
Because pink's usually for a girl, and he's not Thor.
They only have one girl. They have one girl, Bankman.
Jane Foster.
No, she's not even there.
But keep going though. I don't want to take too long on this. We'll keep going through.
We're almost.
They're almost there. But I mean, I still love Kirby's art as far as when it comes to the action sequences. I love Thor.
There's just so much power in this panel alone, just with the aesthetic of the lines. It's got a lot of power behind it.
Yeah, Kirby, for admittedly, people were not his strong suit. It wasn't Steve Ditko's.
No.
Yeah, Ditko couldn't draw a person to save his life.
Romita was a little better, but even
Romita was light years better, because his training had been, in romance, so he drew people.
True.
And, so that really helped him once I think the transition from regular people to superheroes is easier than vice versa, because a lot of times superheroes are easier to draw than civilians because, well, you don't have to mess with wrinkles in clothes, more or less, basically.
I love how Tony's in a fist fight, like he's in the Iron Man armor.
But Kirby was great at storytelling, even though the people, it'd be almost like if you could have let Jack set up every panel and then brought in someone who was better at drawing people, you can only imagine what some of these stories would have looked like.
Did Kirby write and draw stuff, or did he just mainly just draw?
Kirby was a plotter and an artist. A creator. Stan helped with the creating and the plotting and did the dialogue. So when Jack left to go to DC to do the Fourth World, it failed in large part because he didn't have Stan's gift for gab. So the dialogue and apparently Stan was better coming up with names too, because if you look at some of the names of the characters Kirby created, like there was this black guy and he raced around on skis in the air, and his name was the Black Racer.
Okay. Yeah, and I'm thinking that was him that created the Black Racer, because Black Racer was featured in the Superman Post Crisis.
But he came out of the Fourth World.
Yeah. Cool.
But and like there was this beautiful girl in the Forever People, and she dreamed all the time.
Dreamer?
Beautiful dreamer.
Yes.
So I mean, like I said, his imagination, as limitless as it was for creating characters and settings and stories.
He just had the dialogue to go with it.
You realized how important that was to these old Marvel comics when you read them, and you realize that Stan. I mean, Jack might have been more creative, but without the other, it's like Lennon and McCartney. They're like the Lennon and McCartney of comic teams. They really complement each other very well, and it's a shame that it would take way too long to go into who did what wrong and whatnot. But I mean,
and Ash is bringing up that Stan named Silver Surfer. Like,
Silver Surfer's different.
But I want to point out though that Stan's not the only one that created stuff. We had Green Arrow, we had Red Tornado over DC. There was tons of people that used colors.
I'm gonna actually Ash here, which meant that 4 or 5 years later, when Jack created the Black Racer, he could have looked back and said, "Man, that name was really on the nose. I'm gonna try something different."
I don't know.
But sometimes the on the nose name works. But I'm just saying, there will never be another Stan and Jack. Yeah, because like I said they were magic together for those 10 or so years before.
For really how many they created, and it just makes you wonder how many did they create that has never been used again? Because they created so many people.
Yeah, you don't notice it because of all the ones that are still being used to this day. I mean,
look at the who's, those in the go through there and take out every single character, or highlight every character that's in there. The A through Z that was created by Jack and Stan. That's a lot of names.
Yep. Damn,
that's not what I'm saying. Ash, Jesus Christ, give your arguments a rest for a night. Speaking of, let's get through this while there's still tonight.
we're towards the end. Cap just comes in. Cap rushes in because they hold Rick Jones, and he looks like Bucky.
So Namor has boxer briefs on this issue, where in fact before he has just the briefs. I've noticed that. So they figured, you know what? We'll go to the swim trunks. We'll go to the Speedo.
He just gives up. He's like, they can't survive this. Bye.
I have nothing. Now I know how Ash feels sometimes. You broke me.
If this will turn the page. Yep. The spaceship. At least the spaceship only had that. No, it's still not great.
You know what? That kind of looks like a pixel finger coming out of the top of it.
It's like a dreidel. Almost. They're Jewish aliens, okay?
Oh no.
Dreidel.
Well, the alien does pretty much set up for their survival. And Namor's win, where he's like, "Oh, they won't survive."
Does Thor not just do a lot of talking in these early issues? It just seems like everyone else talks more than he does. He just kind of sits there. He's like, "Do you need my hammer yet?"
And now they just say, "Well, we know that you're probably very tired after your however many year nap. Come join us."
Janet's the only thing. She's out there, all of that. She's like, "Do I write it down as a victory or defeat my journal?" I'm like, no one cares. Go away.
So they let Cap join the Avengers.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's
it.
And Rick Jones with Jake gets rid of his yellow shoes and his green pants in the next issues.
And he wonders what's going to happen to
Now
the
they're blue.
Hulk. That's right.
Now, there was something earlier in the issue where Giant Man mentions that Cap has been missing since World War II.
Yeah.
But he mentions 20 decades, but no one told him what year it was, what he thought out.
That's true. That's true.
It's an observation. I mean, like I said, and again, you read these almost 60 years after they were done. You can find flaws, but as far as like the the ideas.
I told you I was right.
Now, if you notice, Captain America did a little sleuthing in this issue, but he really didn't do any fighting.
No,
not really. He jumped in there after Namor was saying, "Look at Rick Jones."
Very little. So it's.
It just seems very 60s though, sitting on a rock on a beach thinking about somebody.
Well, it was. Imagine that, a story that was written in the 60s feels like it's in the 60s.
No, I'm just saying you don't see that trope a lot anymore where guys just
it's
sulking,
not the 60s.
sitting on the rock, and now his guy's like sulking, staring at his phone.
And staring longingly at pictures of the Hulk instead.
Wolverine.
It just has it open.
He's having a Hulk sulk.
The Incredible Sulk.
Well, there you have it, kids.
When they're together, they're called Rook.
Avengers #4.
Yeah, overall, it's still a fun issue.
Heavy dialogue on some of the stuff, but it's well worth it to see. Check just how they pulled Cap out of the ice and the whole origin story. I'm sure it's been done many times after this.
Well, it's had to be adjusted for
Yeah. Yes.
It doesn't really fit anymore, given how far along we are historically. But yeah, it's I said it was fun. I said I really like going back and reading these early Marvel comics because.
But this is 63 though, so when did and Bucky wasn't shown again until what? Winter Soldier?
Well, Bucky, okay, that used to be the two rules at Marvel used to be Uncle Ben and Bucky stay dead. There were plenty of Cap stories where it looked like he came back. They did one where I don't know if it was the Red Skull hired an actor.
Yeah,
that looked like him to impersonate him. There was one where someone made a Bucky robot. So he was a plot device throughout the years.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until Brubaker made the pitch that was finally accepted. Now, Jim Shooter would have never let it happen. Roy Thomas would have never let it happen. I'm sure Stan would have never let it happen. Not sure the EICs between Shooter and Quesada, if they would have let it. But Quesada, it just he saw the potential there and just said go with it. Yeah, so it's. I mean, when that was first happening, it was, you've got to be kidding me. But then you realize, you go, guys, this is so well written that I'm good.
That's
with it.
true though, because if it had been anybody else, it could have turned out so bad.
Oh yeah, I said Brubaker's a gifted writer. I mean, I said it's. I
mean, imagine if they would have brought him back today instead of back then with Brubaker.
Mm-hmm.
And you get someone like like Tom King, bring him back.
Well, he'd bring him back for 2 issues and then he'd kill himself.
Tom King or the?
No, he'd have Bucky kill himself.
Okay.
I do.
Legitimate question, okay?
I mean, yes, Ash, you are right. At the same time, but Namor, because Namor has to throw him in now every time, right? There's no question to that. It has to be Namor.
Every 5 to 10 years, they'll pull him out of the ice for another origin story.
Oh yeah, no, he's right. But
yeah,
what you can't do now is like when he's sitting there going, if you'd been on ice for like 75 years, I hope these kids realize how cool this television thing is.
I'm just wondering who else they're going to bring back from Cap's Life. They brought back Peggy. Who else can they bring back now? Bucky, Peggy. I mean,
Peggy died.
Well, I'm talking about not MCU. I'm talking about as far as comic books.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because Peggy's alive. She never died.
Peggy.
She has her own super soldier serum or something like that. I don't know. I think
Who knows anymore? We're talking about classic books here, Bangman. Classic.
I'm just saying,
Go back Go back. We've gone too far. Time has to come to an end.
You want one or two tea packets for that, Crowley?
But no. It's a lot of fun. And yeah, no, Ash hits the nail on the head. The genius is that anytime you anytime you have to try to adapt the origin, you simply have it. Okay, he's in the ice. You pull him out.
Oh yeah, I think he was on ice for what, 70 years in the movie.
Yep. Still worked.
Yes, I agree. Yes.
That's right. Jackson Roy Kirk. Stop living in the here and now, Bankman. Go back. It's better.
Well, it is now an official chat because Jackson has arrived.
There you go. I know.
Well, I mean, if I stop living in the here and now, that means I'm kind of dead right now. I'm not going to go off myself.
That's right.
He was a hero for Apocalypse, yes, but I'm just kind of upset we never got a Marvel MASH like crossover with Frank Burns, and just being told to shut up by every Marvel character.
That's when you need it.
Your mind goes to some strange places sometimes.
It doesn't go; it's just staying there.
He managed to convince puppets to come onto this channel. I don't know how.
It's called shackles, and you just bait them with peanut butter. I mean, the one puppet, Puppeteen, he's used to that, so that was a surprise. Froggy, you just mentioned She-Hulk, and he jumps in.
That's right. There we go.
Or Ethan Hawke, I don't know.
All right, let's wrap this up.
If anybody should collect this is Harold, it should be Moon Girl. Did you devour of knowledge? Actually, no. They're gonna the new Herald of Galactus is gonna be Reed Richards' F Black sister.
Yeah, the first time he gives her an order. Oh no, you didn't.
It's like she's just gonna lay into him. I've known about you the whole entire time, but you didn't once say hi.
Remember that might come up tomorrow morning. So you may, if you happen to be watching the comic aficionados, you may get my take on Reed's newest sister.
I mean, she could just be a one-hit wonder and just never be used again. I mean, I don't know. This guy Ryan North is taking over. Maybe he'll continue it, or maybe he'll just stay kind of like, okay, I don't want to go away from that and just do my own thing. Ice cream for Galactus.
Iceman.
Oh,
sorry. I mean, ice cream. It is. He likes big men.
Iceman is suffering from the rawhide virus.
One hit implies there was a hit. Only a hit to your ego. That's All right. As Marani is just saying right now, if you want to subscribe to our channel, we do actually have a Ko-Fi link, here.
Puppet has a Ko-Fi.
But also, we like that if you like this content, please click like. And if you haven't done so, subscribe. And if you want to support the channel, drop $1 in the bin. The money goes where you ask where it goes to. Mainly goes to Eric Breen's Milky Way funds, and also goes towards the Marvel and DC comic book apps that we use for the readings on the channel, and also for what you saw now, so we can actually just bring you better content.
That's right.
Or if you want to pay us to go away, we accept money. We'll kind of stay off for a while. But seriously, we're trying to get
$10,000. I will delete everything. We're trying to get.
Honestly, I just want to say we're trying to get the old man into a nice home. Okay, so fork out the money.
You can hear him; he needs it.
See, he's coughing already. I'm worried about him. So,
the end is 9.
So we do thank you for those who actually showed up. Also, we're up to 11. We're at the double digits. We're at 8 now, but still, for those who are watching on replay, if you like this content, you know, you like this, you thought this was a good review, or you maybe didn't like, you know, maybe we left something out, please leave a comment down below after the stream here. And yeah, that being said, hope you guys had fun, and we'll see you real soon.
So long.
Why? Because we like you. Except for Ash.